Hey everybody, today we're tackling my mission to make a mocha pot with crema on top. I've seen this done the Cuban way, which is just simply called the Cuban coffee, or more the Italian way, which I've just heard called a mocha pot with crema. We're going to start with what I have seen called the Cuban coffee method, although I didn't quite do it right. More on that later. I added boiling water to my bottom chamber before adding 16 grams of a medium fine grind. And then I also put an AeroPress filter on. And then I added that on to my burner, which was already preheated. And I'm going to add those first few drips of coffee to about 2 teaspoons of sugar. And then I'm going to take my spoon and whip that very aggressively in a cup so I get a little bit of a paste. And the agitation from mixing those two together should create a little bit of foam when I add the rest of my mocha pot coffee into that same cup. I made sure that was stirred together very thoroughly before adding it into my Bialetti cup. And you can see there was a little bit of crema on top, but not quite what I was hoping for and not what I've seen other people get. So let's try this again with the Italian method. I added some sugar to a little cup this time, and again, the first few drops, whipped it very aggressively. The paste ended up looking about the same, and this time, I added my little foam mixture right on top of the mocha pot, which I've seen with the Italian method, and it ended up being about the same. It wasn't quite as sweet, and the crema did not last very long on this method. After 2 failed attempts, I was just done messing around. I decided to fully commit to the Cuban coffee method. I went out and bought some of the Cafe Bustelo. Again, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I added that into that chamber, quite a bit of it, and I know I've seen from the videos I should have packed it down, but honestly, I was a little bit scared. You can fit a lot of that into that little chamber. The AeroPress filter got thrown off to the side. I'm thinking maybe the extra oils that come through from not using a paper filter might help the foam hold its shape for longer, or maybe use the extra teaspoon of sugar or the bigger spoon. I'm not exactly sure because the paste looked about the same after whipping it, but the results were much better. I had a much thicker head of crema on there, and it lasted for much longer. This was definitely a little sweeter than the previous 2 methods, but a satisfying little treat. What do you think? Do you have any tips for me?